Hey guys, GameBoy3800 here. Once again, we're back in Beam. It's been too long. I am aware it's been too long. But I have been really busy just with my own trucks, my own packs, and honestly other people's packs. They take up a lot of time. Anyways, what do we got here? This is Adjustable Add-ons version 10. Meme pack version that one. Specialized add-ons version the other one. And a brand new pack specifically for leagues. So let's go ahead and go over all those things right now. First of all, we have a brand new edition of Black Magic. I know, you made 100 of them already, right? But nah, this one is special. You see that there wizard on the side? That is Geo Design's wizard. He came back for like 1 week before his wedding, I think. And I asked, you got 5 minutes to spice this design up? And he said, sure thing, Bluther. So we got a wizard on the hood, got a wizard on the side, and a wizard on the flag. And on the roof, instead of it saying Twin Magic or anything like that, we got the full wizard and Geo Design. So thank you, Geo, for all your hard work you put in throughout the years. This won't go to waste. Thank you so much. Anyways, we can also see here that the suspension is quite wonky on this truck. That's because it's got the cantilever suspension. That's right, I've more or less figured out all the kinks of it, or quirks of it. I guess kinks too, I won't judge. And away we go. These need a lot of suspension travel, so remove your limit straps and set your suspension ride height all the way up, and you will get the full benefit of the cantilever setup. This setup is available on both CRD with CRC suspension, and CRC. So let's take a look how it performs there. Look at that. It just soaks it up completely. It's really good for getting hard launches and soaking up big impacts, but it's not very good for stability. You can see I get a lot of body roll here. So it's not good for racing, but it's very good for straight line stuff and landing big jumps. Owie. Let's go ahead into the parts menu to see all the rest of the things. First thing I'm going to add is the new fully automatic RII. What does this do for us? Well, let's just take a look. If we try that same rollover that we did before, but with the auto RII equipped, what will happen? Bunk. RII, rollover detected, and it shuts off your truck. What does this do for you? Well, it lets you have very realistic leagues, or just, single player freestyle runs, if you like. I cannot get this truck to flip back over, so I will concede the loss and reset the truck. It doesn't only work for rollovers, though. So if I decide to commit a Ford Mustang and drive into the crowd, it should stop me here. See, RII hard impact detected, shutting off ignition. Now, if the wall didn't eat me, I would have been shut off anyways, but, you know, it is what it is. I didn't know this map had grabby walls. So, that's the two main features. We got the cantilever suspension, and we got the auto RI, and the skin's a nice bonus. But that's not all. That's not all at all. I mentioned a brand new league pack. Well, the backup beeper with auto RI is part of a bigger pack, much bigger, in fact. We go down to here. The engine slots have customizable league engines for us. And what does this give us? It gives us some new options. We have our Ford and Merlin engine as always, but we also have been driving this whole time a brand new engine you may have not even noticed. Let's go ahead and remove that engine cover so that we can see it better. And put this engine back to how it's supposed to be, stock. Now this is a weird sounding engine, right? Well, it's just a flat plane crank V8. I could not find really reliably good LS sounds because that's what this is. This is a 527 Chevy LS engine. So take a look at this. You rev it up. It's got the new stock sounds V3. Stock sounds V1, 2, and 3 have also been added to CRC if you were missing out on those engine sounds. I don't know why they're missing, but now they're there. Stock sounds V3, or you can choose your selectable engine sounds from CRD. Those are the stock sounds. Stock sounds V2, and I have put stock sounds V3 on the regular CRD engine slot as well. So, let's give it a whirl. This is naturally aspirated all motor. So it's not going to be as powerful as before. I do suspect very few people will actually drive this engine naturally aspirated, but it's there if you want the option. You can see that this engine does love to rev with the torque curve app, so let's see what happens if we increase our RPM from 8,000 to 9,000. Vroom vroom. Going all the way up to 9,000 RPM. We gain a little bit of power, but look at that. It starts to flatten off, so we have more of a usable power band. Above 7,000 RPM is when this engine loves to sing. And you can still wheelie with it and do all the fun stuff. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other customization options for this, because this is a customizable class engine. So we go down to our engine slot and see customizable. So that usually means a lot of funny intakes, right? You bet. We were naturally aspirated before, but let's go ahead and put on some turbos. That's right, we got twin turb skis on a monster truck. Look at that, it bumps our horsepower up by 500 horsepower. We're up to 1,480 horsepower. Got very noisy turbos. And we've got little exhaust stacks there. I'm not sure those will be the final design for the stacks or if I'll change them in the future. But if you do have a truck with a roof on the back there, owie, then don't worry, you will not kill your driver. All we have to do is go to the engine and go to our headers, intake exhaust stacks, or choose the stock exhaust, which will have our exhaust go below the truck instead of into the engine bay. There they are there. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at these turbos, because this is like a very cool design here. Got the rotors spinning in there, you can see them do their turbo thing. The engine model, very high poly model, and the turbos even have an intercooler. Look at that. Can you see through the intercooler? Oh my god, you kind of can. That's insane detail. We have no blow-off valves, so that's why we have the big whooshes and the big... Let's go over two more intakes for this engine. If you want it to have a more familiar kind of power band, all you got to do is go ahead, go to intake and exhaust, and put on one of the three regular type superchargers. So we got the roots, we got the twin screw, and we got the twisted lobes blowers. The twisted lobes is an in-between spot of the roots and the twin screw. And the regular roots here is very powerful, very familiar if you're used to the old Merlin and Ford engines. We're up to 9,000 RPM, so that's why we have, what is that, 1750 horsepower? Lots of power to slide around. And these cantilever suspensions are not really designed for this much power, I'll be honest, but you have the option to do just that. You get huge error with cantilevers because of how much travel and suspension just springiness you get. So you can get some huge error with the cantilevers. I love it. Let's take a look at the final intake option, or visual change to an intake option rather. We got the crank mount centrifugal supercharger. What is this? Well, I've shown these kinds of superchargers up before on other engines, but this one is like a designated like league intake. Take a look at this. All these intakes look insane, by the way. You might think this engine is PBR. No, it's just good normal textures. You don't need PBR. I don't know why people claim it's the greatest thing ever. It does look good. I'll give them that. Got a massive crank mount blower here. Huge turbine. Got a ton of power up top. This kind of intake loves revs. So the more you can rev it, the more power you get. So tune your gears to be tight, and this supercharger will reward you. It does get you like the most amount of power, I think, like power density. You just have to tune for it. Right now, this second gear is like very tall, so it's not helping me at all. So I would need to downshift quite a lot here. And you may also be noticing I'm using a clutch this whole time. That's not helping my case. If you had a torque converter gearbox, it would help keep you in the RPM better. But manual with clutch, it's more difficult. Let's go ahead and go back to, I guess, naturally aspirated to show off. No, not naturally aspirated. Let's go back to just root. Nah, we'll leave it as this just because it's already here. Super sneaky power adder. What's this? You don't want that. Because we have restrictor plates, we have power reductions for boost control. We have the restrictor plate for naturally aspirated control. You can tune all this, and alongside that, we can choose our horsepower we want to tune to. Look at this. We can go from standard 1500 horsepower balanced to low horsepower Poverty Series boosted, Encore, Fun, and Stunt. All these things, all you have to do is click and watch our horsepower. We do nothing else, and our horsepower will go up substantially, or go down substantially, depending on what you choose. So we were at 1600 before, now we're at 1800. Just like that. You don't have to do any tune. You can see our engine mapping is exactly the same. The only difference now is our horsepower. It's higher or lower depending on what you choose. So that's pretty self-explanatory, but getting all that work to be done was quite difficult. I tell you that. What's the next thing we can take a look at in here with this kind of engine? All these engines in here get the same like power reduction, horsepower selection, and league difficulty. What is league difficulty? Well, standard difficulty is driving around normally, like how you've always done in your whole life. Just for fun, what this does is it will make the engine harder to overheat. It's more efficient. And you basically can't die because the engine is also just invincible. So you can chuck as much power as you like at it and it won't die. So that's just for fun. What's hard difficulty though? What does this do for us? Well, let's take a look. You can see we have our regular rev limiter, our regular radiator, and regular transmission slot. I chose the manual with clutch, but you can't put any regular gearbox in. But let's see what happens if I put in the hard difficulty here. We get downgraded to a league radiator, so what that is, it's a harder to drive radiator. It heats up faster, and look at our rev limiter. In fact, look at our revs entirely. Look how high they go. There's no rev limiter. You have to watch your over rev. So we have league radiator. We still have our regular gearboxes. If we go to extreme difficulty, what this will do is give us the same league radiator and rev limiter thing. In fact, it just takes away the rev limiter entirely. It's gone. You don't need it. And it forces you to use either a 3-speed manual with clutch or a 3-speed auto. And extreme difficulty, which is, or the most extreme difficulty, just for pain, sad face. What does this do for us? Oh no. This makes the engines even less efficient. And the only gearbox you're allowed is the race 3-speed manual with clutch. You can't go off of a clutch gearbox. So less efficient, and you have to run clutch, and you have to watch your revs. Look at that. You cannot over rev, otherwise you have sad time. Let's go ahead and tune these gears better for a high revving engine that needs the high revs. So we go over here. Second gear, that's what I'm going to be using most of the time. I'll just crank all the gears up there. And I'll set this to 1 instead of being any underdriven. And the supercharger, you can see we can tune it, but we can only tune it down. It's already maxed out. So for the horsepower select, you can only detune an engine. You can't make it have any extra horsepower other than the super sneaky power adders or removing air filters, because removing air filters does add 5 horsepower. Owie. Gotta watch your shifts, gotta watch your gear changes, gotta watch your RPM. That's extreme difficulty. And what makes it so extreme? Well, the biggest thing is that the reverse gear is really nerfed. You can only go like 25 miles an hour in reverse. So no wonky reverse moves. Look at that. Even with this high revs, 28 miles an hour is all you get. Alright, let's go ahead and show off some more things in the tuning menu. You may have glimpsed it, and I did show off a quick video before. Let's make it very obvious though. We have track width adjustment. So if we put our rear track width all the way out and our front track width all the way in, this will make us have a very pointy truck. So you can really notice it here. This new option is available on both CRD and CRD suspension with CRD and CRC. So, if you didn't like how wide the suspension was or wanted it even wider, well, guess what? Now you can change it. Does add a little bit of toe as well. And even with these, like, really squishy tires and me just being an idiot with the throttle here, it's very hard to get this truck to tip, even with no front sway bars. You are very stable like this, but you are understeery. I wouldn't use it for my daily driver truck, but if you want to see if you can make it work for you, you totally can. So I guess the last big thing to discuss is, does this League pack overwrite the old League parts? No. The old League parts are still available as they were. I have just gone in and tweaked some inconsistencies or things that just were broken. So if you have a League or were using a League tune that was set in stone, you couldn't change it, they will still be valid. Just this new engine pack will be, one, fully independent, and two, I guess just that. It's like a whole different engine slot category here. I forget if I said it before, but the Auto RI is available on every chassis. It's on every in-house chassis pack. It's on every single CRD, every single CRC, every Woman. It's on everything. So, whatever you want to drive in a League or just for realism and single player with Auto RI, it'll be either up here in the backup beeper slot, or I think there's one chassis that doesn't have a backup beeper slot. So it would be in the horn slot, or possibly even the tow hitch slot. Also available in adjustable add-ons will be El Toro Loco MP horns. I don't have it spawned up, but trust me, the MP horns don't fall off to other people's screens when you equip them. I think the cab is a little bit wobbly, but it doesn't fall off. So it's a massive plus. If you want to know what I was doing all these League parts for, I'll rip. I was doing all these League parts for All Out Destruction Tour by Evil Nexus and Nismo. So you can find them on Beam Monsters. You can find the All Out Destruction Tour Discord link in their bio. So new skins. There's some revamped engines. I have also gone ahead and reinstated the old engine models. That should fix the engine textures as well. The only thing I didn't do that I said I wanted to do was revamp front engines, but in order to revamp front engines, I would need to make the customizable chassis have front and rear engine placement options, and that's just too much work for me to do right now. So that'll be a future update. Front engines is unchanged. Rescale mod unchanged, loading screens unchanged, but adjustable add-ons, specialized add-ons, meme pack with the Rat Attack chassis and specialized add-ons with the Mud Racer chassis, those will be updated. And then the League engine, customizable League engines parts will be their own pack on the website. And eventually I will update the other League packs I've done for the rest of my packs all in one bundle. For League stuff, I'll eventually fix that and update as well. That's it for now, though. If you all enjoyed, can leave a like, favorite, comment, share, and of course don't forget to subscribe as well. Thanks again, Booyah. I'll see you all in the future. This update should be out now or very, very soon. Goodbye, everybody. No. Aww, so close. Once again, thank you, GeoDesign, for everything you've done.